Hi, History Lesson by Jeannette Armstrong. Friends, here is a brief intro. Jeannette Armstrong is a Canadian award-winning writer. In History Lesson, she writes about the Indigenous people's first encounters with the European settlers. She tells us how the white colonizers dismantled the culture of the indigenous people, exploited nature, and maintained dominance over the natives through violence and racism. Well, friends, this is a brief intro. Now, the short answer questions. Take a look at the first question. What did the whites bring as gifts? Now, here is the answer. The whites brought smallpox, alcoholic drinks, and processed food such as rice krispies as gifts. Now, short answer question number 2. Civilization has reached the promised land. Explain. Now, take a look at the answer. It refers to the white European settlers reaching North America. They thought they were doing good to the native people. In fact, they ruined everything and destroyed a civilization to create a new one. Now, short answer question number 3. What is the green paper mentioned in the poem? Now, here is the answer. The green paper is money, the dollar bills, with the smiling picture of the queen on them. Well, this is the answer. Now, short answer question number 4. Explain farmers sowing skulls and bones. The skull and bones refer to the sacrifice the indigenous people have made against their will. When they resisted, the white settlers killed them mercilessly. The farms were littered with skulls and bones of the natives. Now, here is the last short answer question. What does skinless animals signify? The indigenous people have been stripped of their human rights and they were forced to change to fit into the beliefs of the Europeans. This is the result of the brutal colonization. Well, friends, these are the short answer questions. Now, take a look at the paragraph questions. Here is question number 1. What is the theme of the history lesson? Now, take a look at the answer. In history lesson, Jeannette Armstrong portrays the indigenous people's first encounters with the European settlers. The poet tells us how the white colonizers ruined their culture, exploited nature, and maintained dominance over them through violence and racism. The white settlers destroyed the land, culture, and lifestyle of the natives. They killed their animals for fun and for their fur, skin, and meat. They destroyed the forests and farmlands to build new cities. They mined the land for minerals. When the natives resisted, they were mercilessly killed. All this destruction was justified under the word colonization. Well, this is the answer. Now, paragraph question number 2. Comment on the use of irony in the poem. Now, take a look at the answer. In history lesson, Armstrong tells the story of colonization from the perspective of Native Americans. She describes how European settlers destroyed the Native American land, life, and livelihood. All this destruction was justified under the word colonization. Though European settlers murdered Native Americans, mocked their culture, raped women, and suppressed their freedom, they branded it as colonization. Armstrong points out the irony in this branding. The word colonization has a positive connotation, that is, a partnership of two different peoples. Here, the European colonization was not at all civilized. In this way, Armstrong highlights the horrible irony that surrounds the colonization of the Native American peoples. Friends, this is answer to paragraph question number 2. Now, paragraph question number 3. Explain the significance of the title, History Lesson. Now, take a look at the answer. The title, History Lesson, is very significant. The poem depicts how the white colonizers dismantled the culture of the indigenous people, exploited nature, and maintained dominance over the natives through violence and racism. The European settlers came in ships and ran in all directions, killing animals for their fur, shooting buffaloes for their meat and hides, that is the skin. They mined the land for minerals. They destroyed the forests to build their cities. They brought gifts in the form of smallpox, alcoholic drinks, and rice krispies. All this destruction was justified under the word colonization. Well, this is a big history lesson. Well, friends, these are the paragraph questions. Now, take a look at the essay. Here is a question. Analyze history lesson as a poem of colonization. Now, here is the introductory paragraph. Jeannette Armstrong is a Canadian award-winning writer. In History Lesson, she writes about the indigenous people's first encounters with the European settlers. The poem describes the arrival of the Europeans to North America. It also tells us how they destroyed the natives' culture and land. Well, this is paragraph number 1. Now, take a look at paragraph number 2. The European settlers came in ships and ran in all directions. They killed animals for their fur, meat, and hides. They mined the land for minerals. They destroyed the forests to build their cities. They brought gifts in the form of smallpox, alcoholic drinks, and rice krispies. Well, friends, this is paragraph number 2. Now, take a look at paragraph number 3. The white colonizers dismantled the culture of the indigenous people and exploited nature. They maintained dominance over the natives through violence. They destroyed the land, culture, and lifestyle of the natives. The whites killed their animals for fun and for their fur, skin, and meat. When the natives resisted, they were mercilessly killed. Friends, this is paragraph number 3. Now, take a look at paragraph number 4. All this destruction was justified under the word colonization. Though European settlers murdered Native Americans, mocked their culture, raped women, and suppressed their freedom, they branded it as colonization. The word colonization has a positive connotation. Here, the Europeans' colonization was not at all civilized. Armstrong points out the irony in this branding. The poet shows how colonization made the life of the natives full of misery and pain. Well, friends, this is paragraph number 4. Now, take a look at the last paragraph, the concluding paragraph. It is in this way that the poem describes the negative aspects of imperialism and colonization of the indigenous people of Canada. Well, friends, this is the end of the essay, and this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching this video. As you all know, this is the last lesson in A03, Readings from the Fringes. with best wishes to everyone. Thank you very much. Goodbye.